They weren't just lead singers, they were larger-than-life forces who turned concerts into chaos and music into legend. Some screamed, some preached, a few nearly destroyed their bands. But every one of them left a mark that still echoes through rock history. We're counting down 20 of the wildest, most unforgettable frontmen of the 1970s. But here's the question: who could possibly top them all at number 1? Stay tuned. Number 20. Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper Band. Before Marilyn Manson or Slipknot, there was Alice Cooper, the godfather of shock rock. He didn't just perform songs, he staged nightmares. From guillotines to boa constrictors, Cooper's live shows made headlines and caused parental panic. But it was his signature snarl on tracks like School's Out and I'm 18 that made suburban teens everywhere feel seen and dangerous.
Somebody saw you at the station.
Offstage, he was a church-going golf nut. On stage, he made horror theatrical, and people paid to be scared. But our next frontman didn't need costumes, just a southern drawl and a sixth sense for tragedy. Number 19, Ronnie Vanzant, Lynyrd Skynyrd. He looked like your local bar's baddest regular, and that was the appeal. Ronnie Vanzant brought raw, working-class poetry to Skynyrd's Southern rock staples. He turned Freebird into an anthem of freedom and Sweet Home Alabama into a cultural lightning rod. His voice was tough, full of swagger, and somehow deeply human.
But please don't take this so badly.
And here's the eerie part. Weeks before the band's plane crash in 1977, Vanzant reportedly said he wouldn't live to see 30. He died at 29. Some call it fate. Others think he saw it coming. From dive bar honesty to downtown grit, next is a frontman who made quiet cool.
But I'm gonna try.
Number 18, Lou Reed, The Velvet Underground. Cool, deadpan, unbothered. Lou Reed didn't scream for your attention. He whispered dark truths on songs like Walk on the Wild Side and Heroin. His delivery was flat, almost bored, but that's what made it stick. He sounded like he knew more than you, because he did. He fought with everyone, bandmates, producers, even Bowie. He released an entire album of guitar feedback just to confuse fans. But he gave rock a brain and a bruised heart. If Reed was a poet, our next guy was a punk prophet who shouted everything.
Number 17, Joe Strummer of The Clash. Joe Strummer didn't sing songs, he led revolutions. With The Clash, he blasted through tracks like London Calling and White Riot with a voice that felt ripped from protest streets. It was raw, unfiltered, and filled with urgency.
Well, the Rangers had a homecoming in Harlem late last night.
Number 16, Bruce Springsteen of the E Street Band. They called him the boss, and not because he asked for it. Springsteen's voice wasn't polished. It was honest. It turned songs like Born to Run and Thunder Road into blue-collar epics. His lyrics were cinematic, his delivery urgent, and his shows felt like church revivals.
Hold me close, try and understand. Worked all day,
But behind the myth was a legal nightmare. Early in his career, Bruce sued his manager and lost years in court, years he could have spent topping charts. That frustration bled into every verse. Next, a frontman who didn't just sing, he played everything at once.
Closer to the heart. Closer to the heart.
Number 15, Geddy Lee of Rush. Geddy Lee wasn't just Rush's frontman. He was its engine room. He sang, played bass, and manned synthesizers, often simultaneously. His voice was high, sharp, and divisive, but on songs like Tom Sawyer and Limelight, that unique tone cut through dense, complex arrangements and gave prog rock its heartbeat. Some called it nerdy, others called it genius. Either way, no one could deny his command. Let's leave the control room and head to the smoky chaos of the London clubs.
I had nothing to do on this hot afternoon but to settle down and write you a line.
Number 14, Rod Stewart of Faces. That raspy, whiskey-soaked voice, instantly recognizable. Rod Stewart brought cheeky charm to the Faces and romantic grit to his solo work. On Stay With Me, he strutted. On Maggie May, he mourned. And both felt 100% authentic.
I know your name is Serena, 'cause your perfume smells sweeter. Since when
Critics groaned when he dipped into disco with Do You Think I'm Sexy? But the public ate it up. Stewart just grinned and cashed the checks. Our next frontman didn't flirt. He kicked, flipped, and fought for every spotlight.
You got to roll with the punches and get to what's real.
Number 13, David Lee Roth of Van Halen. David Lee Roth was hard rock's class clown and its daredevil. He didn't just sing Van Halen's hits, he exploded through them. Runnin' with the Devil had teeth because of him. Jump was ridiculous fun because of him. Roth was flash, flair, and a walking middle finger to subtlety. Behind the scenes, total chaos. He and Eddie Van Halen clashed constantly. Eventually, it boiled over. Roth left, returned, left again. Time to swap the spandex for masks and myth. Our next frontman got weird. Number 12, Peter Gabriel, Genesis. Peter Gabriel turned prog rock into performance art. He sang in character, wore outlandish costumes, and made Genesis concerts feel like theater. On The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, he didn't just tell a story, he became it. His voice, both haunting and operatic, gave Genesis its soul.
Jacob, wake up, you got to tidy your room now.
In 1975, Gabriel walked away from the band. Officially, it was to focus on family. Fans still whisper about creative tension. Whatever the reason, his solo career took off, proving he never needed a stage full of masks to captivate. But our next guy? No masks, no costumes, just blood, sweat, and broken glass. Number 11, Iggy Pop of the Stooges. He crawled through glass. He screamed until hoarse. He bled. A lot. Iggy Pop wasn't just early punk. He was the blueprint. Tracks like Search and Destroy and I Want to Be Your Dog felt unhinged because Iggy was unhinged. He once said he had to get hurt to feel real on stage.
Give me danger, little stranger, and I'll give you a...
Bowie saved him, literally. Took him off the streets, put him back in studios. But in the 70s, Iggy was still chaos incarnate and completely unforgettable. Coming up, the voice that launched arena rock, the soul of heavy metal, and a lion-maned screamer who made mics into weapons.
Just a city boy, born and raised right here in Houston.
Number 10, Steve Perry, Journey. They called him The Voice, and for good reason. Steve Perry turned simple melodies into stadium-shaking anthems. Just listen to Don't Stop Believin'. Without Perry's soaring delivery, that chorus doesn't hit nearly as hard. Or Open Arms, emotional, dramatic, and completely carried by his tone. He made power ballads cool at a time when rock was all grit and growl.
Sleep alone tonight.
is turning with the rising sun.
Number 9. Paul Rodgers, Bad Company, Free. He didn't scream. He didn't strut. He just sang. And it worked every time. Rodgers brought bluesy swagger to rock's biggest stages. In Free's All Right Now, his vocals were raw, gritty, and full of soul, like he was living the lyrics in real time. Later, with Bad Company, he powered tracks like Feel Like Making Love with that same effortless cool. He didn't need theatrics. He let the voice do the talking.
There she stood in the street, smiling from her head to
And while he mostly stayed out of the spotlight drama, Zeppelin fans still whisper, if Robert Plant had said no to a reunion, Paul Rodgers was Plan B. But now we're heading into darker territory, with a frontman who terrified his own band. Coming up, a metal icon who terrified his own band, a bad boy frontman who left behind a mystery death, and a mic-swinging wild man who literally fought his bandmates on tour. You're gonna want to hear all three.
Number 8. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. He mumbled offstage, but onstage, he was a nightmare in human form. Ozzy Osbourne's eerie, unholy tone helped turn Paranoid and Iron Man into the foundation of heavy metal. His voice wasn't perfect, it was perfectly unsettling. That slow, dragging drawl on War Pigs sounded like the end of the world. But even Sabbath had a breaking point. Ozzy's drug use got so bad, they kicked him out in '79.
Just like witches and black masses.
He bit a bat, stumbled into solo stardom, and somehow became a global icon. Ozzy didn't just help invent metal, he made it dangerous. He made you flinch. Our next pick, he made you laugh, dance, and scream all in the... Bon Scott was lightning in a bottle, with the wick burning fast. His dirty charm and boozy swagger turned High Voltage and Highway to Hell into rebellious anthems. The way he snarled, "Ain't no fun waiting around to be a millionaire," didn't sound like a lyric, it sounded like a threat. Bon didn't just sing ACDC's wild party songs, he was the party. When he was found dead in 1980, fans were devastated. The official cause? Alcohol poisoning. But questions still linger. Was he pushed out before the end? Or was it just the life he always promised would catch up? From Wild Child to Warhorse, the next frontman commanded arenas like a general with a mic.
got up and walked away. Oh, I was just a boy.
Number 6. Roger Daltrey, The Who. Roger Daltrey didn't sing lyrics, he roared them. His thunderous voice brought Baba O'Reilly and Won't Get Fooled Again to life, turning political frustration into rock fury. And that primal scream at the end of Fooled Again, that was Roger's own idea. It wasn't in the original version, he just felt it. But The Who wasn't a peaceful machine. He and Pete Townsend fought, physically, over control, over songs, over everything. On one tour, Daltrey actually knocked Pete out cold. Still, his voice never cracked. He kept The Who alive through the chaos. And coming up, the top 5. A glam god with a scarf, a shapeshifter from space, a strutting survivor, and a voice that could bring heaven to its knees.
Every time that I look.
Number 5. Steven Tyler, Aerosmith. Steven Tyler didn't just front Aerosmith, he was the circus. You could hear his fingerprints all over Dream On. That falsetto, that slow build into a scream, pure Tyler. Later, with Sweet Emotion, he didn't just sing, he slithered through the lyrics like a snake in leather pants. But by the late 70s, the band was barely functioning.
The drugs, the feuds, the missing gigs. Tyler was a mess, and so was Aerosmith. Some say it was his manager who stepped in and staged an intervention. Others say it was his bandmates. Either way, he lived, just barely. So how do you top a rock star who nearly died on stage, with a frontman who might not have even been human? Before we hit the final four, who's your pick for the greatest live frontman of the 70s? Not just in the studio, but someone who could own a stage like nobody else. Drop your answers below. Bonus points for underrated picks.
Ziggy played guitar, jamming good with Weird and Gilly.
Number 4. David Bowie from Spiders from Mars. Ziggy Stardust, Aladdin Sane, the Thin White Duke. Bowie didn't just play characters, he became them. When he dropped Starman in 1972, it wasn't just a song, it was a signal. The lyrics were cryptic, the look was alien, and by the time Rebel Rebel hit, Bowie had already switched personas again. But behind all that glam was a razor-sharp mind. And a body running on nothing but cocaine and adrenaline. Bowie once said he wasn't sure who he was anymore by 1976. Some say he believed he actually was the Thin White Duke, a character known for being emotionless, cold, and obsessed with the occult. But somehow, he escaped. Bowie turned his breakdown into a reinvention. Now, from shapeshifter to strutter, the next guy didn't need personas. He was the real deal from day one.
Jagger from the Rolling Stones. No one strutted like Jagger, and no one survived quite like him either. By the time he sang Brown Sugar and Tumbling Dice in the early 70s, Jagger had already become the blueprint for every frontman after him. Those snarling vocals, that sneer, he didn't copy anyone. They all copied him. Jagger turned scandals into marketing. Arrests, affairs, tabloid meltdowns. He wore them like trophies.
I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt.
And through it all, he kept that voice sharp, those hips moving, and the Stones selling out stadiums for decades. How? There's a long-standing rumor about his secret vocal coach, and something about honey, hot tea, and complete vocal silence for hours before each show. But if Jagger made rock sexy, our next pick made it mythic.
I'm gonna give you my love. I'm gonna give you my love.
Number 2, Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin. Golden curls, bare chest, and a voice that tore the sky open. Plant wasn't just the singer of Whole Lotta Love, he unleashed it. That raw, orgasmic wail in the middle, he invented that on the spot. Then came Stairway to Heaven, mysterious, spiritual, and so fragile only Plant could deliver it without breaking it. But he hated the rock god title, hated being idolized.
In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees.
After drummer John Bonham died in 1980, Plant walked away from Zeppelin forever. No reunion, no nostalgia act. He closed the book. Can you guess who is number 1? Drop it in the comments. Our number 1 frontman didn't just rewrite the rules, he threw the whole book out and wrote his own opera.
Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
Number 1, Freddy Mercury from Queen. No one, not one voice, not one presence, could match Freddie Mercury. With Bohemian Rhapsody, he didn't just break the rules, he shattered them. 6 genres in one song, a choir of himself, and somehow it worked, because only Freddie could pull it off. Then came Somebody to Love, and We Are the Champions, and that performance at Live Aid, often called the greatest rock performance of all time. His control, his confidence, that crowd in the palm of his hand. Behind the scenes, he kept his illness hidden for years, and when he finally announced it,
Just killed a man
He was gone the next day. Freddy didn't just lead Queen. He led all of us. There you have it, 20 frontmen who didn't just sing. They defined what it meant to be legends. Some fell, some rose again. And one, he left a crown no one else could wear. So now it's your turn. Who's your number one? Who did we miss? Drop your picks in the comments and tell us why. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. We've got more stories, more legends, and more deep cuts coming your way.
If I leave you tomorrow.
When you're on the street, you got to be able to pick out the easy meat.